Hey guys, what's going on? Mike the Caveman Q here again, Pale Problem Island, MikeTheCaveman.com. We have another edition of Monday Nights with Mike, live stream Q&A, ask me anything. And as usual, it's got to pull up on my phone real quick just to make sure that we can hear everything. And sounds like we got the washing machine on, so hold on. Alright, we're back. Round two. Hey guys. So like we said, Monday Nights with Mike, live stream. Started putting your questions down. Had to go, if you hopped on and I was walked away, had to turn up the laundry machine. Laundry washer? What the hell's the word for that? Yeah, laundry machine. I don't know. Someone please put a comment down below what the word is. Washing machine. That's the word I'm looking for. Awesome. So, yeah. So, before we get started, finish up the carb test yesterday. It was in yesterday's best of, and you got to see what we were doing there. Other than that, we have a fresh batch of fire cream. So, if you need fire cream, hit me up. Brand new, fresh off the presses. We can never close this. But, yeah. While I'm waiting for you to put your questions down, they said we have the fire cream, but what else we got going on? Hold on. While I'm waiting for you to put your questions down. All right. Hey, Annie, what's up? So, yeah, I'm waiting for you. I had a couple of questions come in recently, so let's see what we got. While I'm waiting for you. All right. I have one about how important is fish. Okay. So, I've kind of talked about it before, and the fact of the matter is, so I'll come to yours in a second, Andy. But basically, fish is one of those ones where it's an incredibly nutrient dense food. Essentially, it's super high in omega-3s, high in selenium, it's high in a variety of other vitamins and minerals, B12, all those good fun ones. So you definitely don't want to try and get in fish. That being said, if you have an allergy or you absolutely just can't stomach it, you may want to consider some fish oil. If that's still not an option, then no. There are other ways around that. You can still get omega-3s from some quality grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter. You can get it also from, you can get them from, to an extent, you can get from flax and hemp. You're going to have to convert it a lot. Your body's going to have to go through a lot of processes to get that going, but otherwise it can be done. That being said, you should try and get fish in. All right, next one. Annie asks, can you tell me a little bit more about Megaspore? All right. What? Apparently the dryer's still on too. Whoops. Whatever. So, what about Megaspore? All right. Well, essentially, it is a probiotic supplement, and unlike ones that you're normally going to find, the ones you have to refrigerate, which are using lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, this here uses bacillus spores. Now, why is that important? Well, while your gut is predominantly composed of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, ideally, and that's even a loose term, it's just that we don't know for sure that they are absolutely positive. It's just that those are generally the ones we find most often in the guts of healthy people. So because we find them at super high quantities, or rather super high concentrations, what ends up happening is it was assumed that that's how we should supplement. We should definitely be taking that in. And there can be some benefit to it. The problem is they are not particularly hardy. They're not very strong in terms of their ability not to get destroyed. What do I mean by that? Well, what do you have to do? You have to refrigerate them. Why? If it gets too hot, what's going to happen? They die. If you have enough stomach acid, which hopefully you do, what's going to happen? Your stomach acid is going to kill them. If, on the other hand, you have if you have to, where was I going with that? I was going somewhere, I promise. Yeah, so essentially, your stomach acid, the heat of your body, that's where I was going with that. So, right, the heat of transport, from time it makes it from the factory to your house, or to the store, to your house, to your actual colon, yeah, most of the ones that you see on there are probably going to die. Conversely, Megaspore, what's cool about that is they are in a spore form. And what does that mean? Well, you may have heard of mold spores before. And what happens is a lot of different life forms, be they plant, fungi, so mold and other fungi, mushrooms, whether it be bacteria in this case, in the case of bacillus spores, what they do is kind of like their nuclear option. Essentially, if things get really bad, what they can do, what the plants and the bacteria and the fungi do, is they go into the spore form. They release these spores, and what they are kind of like a little capsule that keeps them alive in the worst case scenario. So they are resistant to acid, they are resistant to heat, they're resistant to everything. And essentially, because megaspore, because they are in that spore form, they are shelf stable. They are stable to make it through your stomach, into your small intestine, into your colon. So they don't come out to play until the conditions are right. And that's the same situation we're looking at with mold spores. That's a good analogy always. Those mold, it's hanging out in your basement. Well, hopefully not your basement, but you know what I mean. They're hanging out until it gets warm and moist enough, until at which point they're able to proliferate, they're able to grow. And the same thing with the megaspore. They actually survive the transit from the factory into your gut, and they can actually help to crowd out the pathogenic ones. Now, other major benefits of them. If you ever heard of a little thing called bacitracin, all right? It is an antibiotic that's used topically. Where does that come from? It comes from bacillus spores. So what happens is that is one of the compounds, well, sort of. Bacitracin is based on one of the compounds that is released by bacillus bacteria. And what it can do is it can kill other pathogenic, bad types of bacteria. So not only can they crowd out bacteria, they can also kill some of the bad ones. So we're looking at a probiotic that's not only going to clear the way, pave the way for your good bacteria to grow, it's also going to help to kill the bad ones as well. So it outcompetes them and outright kills them. So that's a lot of the major reason why Megaspore's so awesome. Moreover, I've just simply seen amazing results with hundreds of people personally. That's not including what my friends over at Rebel Health Tribe have done. They've helped thousands of people with it. So either way, Megaspore, awesome stuff. Cannot recommend it enough. All right. What else we got going on? What other questions we got? So we talked a little bit about fish, talked about Megaspore. What else we got going on? What other questions? I've gotten, as usual, I've gotten a whole bunch of questions. I'm trying to find what we have ready to go. Let's see. So, in the meantime, while I'm trying to find one, let's talk a little bit about what I've been doing lately. So I just finished up a semester. I'm starting up another one, and had a crazy semester. I had to answer a whole bunch of weird global health questions. So I just learned a lot about the Nipah virus. If you ever want to learn about the Nipah virus, come at me. It's one of those crazy ones like Ebola. And we don't have really good answers for it right now. It's ravaging parts of Bangladesh and Malaysia. Just had to do a whole PowerPoint presentation on it. It was super fun, let me tell you. Okay. Second one with an H at the end. So Nipah. And so what's funny is the actual name for it is it's like the official. The genus is Nipah virus. So it's Nipah virus, Nipah virus. That's the official name for it. Kind of like how we're Homo sapiens. Same idea. But yeah, it's a pretty squirrely one. Has some respiratory and neurologic conditions associated with it. Basic flu, headache, drowsiness, weakness is the usual symptoms. But provided you don't catch it early enough, can lead to seizures, comatose, encephalitis. Super fun stuff. It's an emerging disease, and yeah, I just had to do a cute little PowerPoint on it. That being said, what else we got, though? I was going to go somewhere with that, and I lost it. I don't know. I've been working on my projects and stuff lately. My brain's kind of fried. Let's see. I need some questions. Guys are killing me here. All right. We had the health fair the other day. Had some good stuff there. Got to quiz people themselves. You have to ask them questions, but... All right. Bile salts. I gave someone ox bile for dealing with fatty meals because of gallbladder remover. Is that cool? Absolutely. Yes. Great question. Thank you. So, yes, essentially, ox bile is meant to replace the bile that we don't have enough of. So, essentially, your gallbladder, while it doesn't produce bile, your liver does that. Your gallbladder is kind of like the reservoir, and it makes sure that you have enough hanging out. So, essentially, when you eat a fatty meal, your liver goes and produces that bile to help to break it down. Bile acts as an emulsifier, similar to soap. So, like soap, normally you have grease on your hands, you try to wash off with water, doesn't really work unless you heat it up. Well, soap acts as an emulsifier. It makes it so that the water and the fat are able to combine. Same thing going on inside your stomach. Well, same thing going on inside your gut, excuse me. Essentially what happens is the bile gets released to help to break down that fat, and because you don't really have too much of it, your liver can only produce so much, and without a gallbladder, it has nowhere to store extra. So you only have what's already a little bit that's stored in the liver, plus whatever little bit you're producing. If you eat a super fatty meal, then yeah, you're not going to be able to break it down properly. However, if you provide that ox bile along with some lipase and so lipase is an enzyme, for those who don't know, lipase is an enzyme that helps break down lipids, breaks down fat, so lipase, lipid, ACE. Whenever you see ACE, it means the enzyme generally sometimes going to help break things down. So lipase is sometimes going to help to break down fats. So you add lipase, you add the ox bile, and you should see some benefit. Get nervous giving people stuff. I have bloody diarrhea all the time. Worry about her. Yeah, so lipocin, is that a brand name, or are you saying about another enzyme? So, okay. Yeah, definitely, Andy. I went pretty deep on the megaspore. I have the whole video on that as well. I've talked about a couple other times. Sorry. Light spelling on it. Lipase. I'll come back to yours in a second, Annie. For Jody, your question is lipase. So, enzyme. A-S-E is how you spell that. So, it's L-I-P-A-S-E. Lipase. And so, lipid, ACE, lipid, enzyme is literally what it means. Literally probably wasn't used properly there. Whatever. So, lipase. Okay. That being said, back to Annie. Regarding the megaspore. Yeah, I went pretty deep on what it is, why it works, why you want it, in terms of consuming too many probiotics. Yeah, that absolutely, unfortunately, is a thing. That's actually why, when it comes to megaspore specifically, I always make sure that I go and tell people to start at 1 capsule a day, and then I go and what I'll do is I'll actually go and have them titrate up to 2, which is the therapeutic dose, after 2 weeks, basically to gauge your own body tolerance. Now, when it comes to that, if I have somebody who is really jacked up in terms of their gut, so I'm presuming SIBO, or I'm presuming just general gut dysbiosis, I'm presuming acid reflux, or something of the like, somebody who has noticeable GI issues, generally I will start them at half of a serving a day. So you actually crack the capsule open and eat only half of it. You'll either put it onto your food, add it to your water. If that's still too much, then yeah, you might go a little lower than that. Other than that, though, probably not going to be a problem. So if we're talking specifically probiotic supplements, then yeah, it is possible. If we're talking about, let's say, an acidophilus, the lactobacillus, the bifidobacteriums, those types of bacteria, it's going to be pretty tough to overdose on those, because when you watch the replay, you'll be able to catch the reason why. But essentially, your stomach acid should take them out to an extent. The transport, the number that's on that bottle, the label of that bottle, probably isn't going to have as much as what it actually says. So it'll be pretty tough to overconsume probiotics in the form of the supplement without being a spore or a yeast. So Saccharomyces boulardii is another type of probiotic, but it's a probiotic yeast, and that does survive transit pretty well as well. But that, along with Megaspore, are the two that I would say are going to have the best effect. All right. Other than that, though, we're talking about probiotic foods, so fermented foods. So for most people, it's going to be super hard to overconsume fermented foods unless you have a histamine issue, which we've talked about that before. Essentially, if you have a histamine issue, a lot of times what's going to happen, you might have an overgrowth of histamine-containing histamine-containing bacteria. So bacteria that produce histamine, and a lot of times people will have inability, they'll be missing the enzymes to break down the histamine. So, as such, there can be a buildup. Histamines are a precursor. Well, histidine, which goes to produce histamine, are basically they are a precursor to inflammatory cytokines. So, what's going to happen is, in that case, yeah, totally, my brain's fried. Sorry, guys. In that case, what's going to happen is you're consuming foods that contain histamines, and you already have bacteria that are producing it, and you're having problems breaking it down. So you're going to have problems with basically an overload, and because of that, you have an overload of inflammation, and a lot of times it may present as an allergic reaction type of situation. All right. Do you think people can add probiotics to an enema for a better result? And I would say yes. Specifically talking about the Bifidobacterium lactobacillus, the other strains that are probably going to die on the way down. That being said, do I want to be the guy doing it? Probably not. The fecal transplants, there's definitely something to that. And there is definitely benefit to supplementing with those two strains. There definitely is. In fact, in children who were born by C-section, they've been following that up. I've talked about that a couple times now, but they've been following those kids up, and they supplement them with those two. And, they do pretty well. Enemas are good. Should do them, probably. I actually did a video on coffee enemas. The thought on that is essentially, why don't they see clinical efficacy, and versus say what you see. So there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that supports them versus say the studies which don't really show much support. And the problem with human trials is that in order to get to the sick population, the people you want to see, you have to go through two other human phases. First, you gotta go through in vitro, then you have to go through in vivo. Then, first you go through in vitro, which is in the cell. Then you have to go through preclinical, which is basically animal studies. Then you have to go through then you have to go through the first two phases. And phase one, you're going through basically, in phase one, you're going through a healthy population. Phase two, you're trying to find the correct dosing for it, which obviously coffee enema is a little squirrely to be finding the correct dosing. But in phase three, that's when you actually start to see you're trying to actually use it on the populations that you think are going to be useful for it. So the reason why I say all of that, the reason why I even bring this up, is that generally the people that are going to be needing a coffee enema, people that need liver support, because that's one of the biggest benefits of coffee enemas, are probably not people that are pretty messed up overall. They're not going to be the healthy people that are in those phase one, phase two trials. So, yeah, if you're generally pretty healthy, if your liver's functioning properly, not going to see any benefit from coffee enemas. It's going to not really do much. However, if you are pretty jacked up, you're dealing with some chronic inflammatory situations, or you're dealing with liver dysfunction, you're dealing with heavy metal toxicity, you're dealing with hemochromatosis, iron overload, then yeah, your liver's probably pretty shot right now, and because of that, you might see a lot of benefit from that coffee enema, because you're going to be getting some production of, There's caffeol is the compound that helps to produce it, and helps to help produce liver detox. This is not my best video. I am kind of off the ball right now. My brain's fried. But yeah, caffeol and cannabidiol, they help with liver detox. That thing. I have a video on it. Go watch it. I'm done with that. So enemas, sure, possibly, could be some benefit, could help you over coffee enemas. Go do it, consider it, whatever. Uh-oh. Sick Vic, what's up, brother? Woo. This is gonna be fun. Vic, what questions you got for me, brother? What do you got? This is gonna be good. Rosie, what's up? How you doing? What's the WTF? What did you got? No? What are you knowing about? What's your questions, Vic? What do you got for me? So we've talked about enemas and coffee enemas. Talked about some Megaspore, isogenics. All right, I like that one. What's up, Rose? I think I did a video on isogenics specifically. I definitely did it in Shakeology. I'm pretty sure I did isogenics. Oh, about the coffee enemas? Yeah. That's up to you. But what about Enema of the State? It was a good album. But I grew up on that album. Anyway, isogenics, not the biggest fan. I'll put a link to that video. I'll put a link to all the ones that we've talked about so far. But not terrible. Not great. I'd have to look at the ingredient list again. I do remember there was some stuff that was kind of squirrely about it. Protein powder itself wasn't the best quality. What's up, Josh? I don't know if I just said that. Like, people that are joining late, my brain's fried right now. Sorry about that. Definitely need take some turmeric, help my brain function. No eating. Norm, what's up, brother? So, yeah. So, isogenics, not the biggest fan. Again, off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact reasons why. There's a lot of those products that are like, I get asked about, the meal replacement shakes, all that fun stuff. And more often than not, there's some squirrely ingredients that I'm just like, probably not the best. Personally, if you want to have meal replacement shakes that are using proteins / multivitamin / probiotic / a quality fat, the way I like to go about it is making triple threat shakes where you're using a quality grass-fed protein, where you're using nutrients as your multivitamin source. Definitely hands down the best multivitamin out there. I like to add the skinny fat, which is an MCT from there. So when you put those three together, that's the triple threat. And essentially what you're getting is a quality fat that can help to burn fat, give you energy, mental clarity, because it helps to produce ketones. You're getting quality protein in the form of that grass-fed whey. And from there, you're getting all of your vitamins and minerals. From there, I'll take along with it. You could open up the capsule, though, some Megaspore. And that's basically what you're looking at in all of those isogenics and all of the Shakeologies and all that nonsense. You're looking at something that's trying to put together a multivitamin, trying to put together a protein, trying to put together a fat, and sometimes adding a probiotic or enzymes. And that's part of the problem I have with them, actually, now that I think about it. Part of the biggest problem, besides the source of the protein itself, part of the bigger problem than that is the fact that you're putting in a whole bunch of vitamins together that either are going to compete with each other or you're avoiding the ones that are synergistic. So when you take a multi, what you want to have are things that are separated. Certain things work together, like, say, vitamin C and iron. They help each other with absorption. Whereas if you have something like vitamin A, hey, Murray, what's up? What's up, Chris? So vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, you want to put them together. Certain things compete with each other, though. Calcium is going to be on the opposite of the potassium. You don't want them to be together. Iron inhibits the absorption of zinc and inhibits the absorption of copper. So iron has like 13 or 14 other micronutrients that it competes with. So if you have iron in a multivitamin, you just bought some expensive pee. Congratulations. But if you take iron separately, if you need iron, most people really don't need iron generally. It's a very general rule because that's, if you're eating foods that contain iron, you should be all right. That being said, some people do need some iron, whether you're pregnant, whether you're a child. Some things are going to need some more. If you do need extra iron, obviously if you're anemic, that's kind of the obvious one. So if you're vegetarian and vegan, you probably need some iron. So if you need iron, take it otherwise. What's up, Vic? What you got going on now? This is going to be good. Something's funny. Yeah, if you need iron, take it separately. Should be all right. So talked about fish a little bit. Talked about Megaspore. Talked about ox bile and gallbladders. Talked a little about the Nipah virus. in Malaysia. It talked about triple threat shakes and quality quality multivitamins, isogenics, why it's probably crap. What else we got, guys? We are at the 25-minute mark, so the iron, you're late. No, I know. It's not. I mean, I guess I am late too. It's the comments. You guys' comments come to me late. So I'm watching the video right now, and I have it on my phone. And if you look, it's delayed. So I see your comments delayed based on when you actually type them. So you also, though, see my feed delayed for one reason or another. There's probably about a 5-10 second delay on it. So, nah, no worries. It does get a little squirrely when someone responds to something, and I'm trying to see what it was. I'm like, oh. So, either way. Anyway, yeah. So, we're about 25 minutes in, give or take. I usually run it for about 30 minutes. Last couple of weeks have been going a little bit longer. What other questions? You need memory then. Well, right now, I'm on... No problem, Norm. Good luck with that. I'm on my iPad, so that's probably part of the problem in terms of the lag. I'm probably going to try out my new laptop next week, maybe. I just didn't put any software on it yet, like some antivirus software, so haven't really been playing with that. All right, berberine, an effective fat loss supplement. That is a really good question. So berberine is an excellent. Berberine is a compound found in a number of different plants: barberry, golden seal, yellow yarrow or yellow root, all that fun stuff. And essentially it is a compound that is generally a very strong antimicrobial. However, it does have a pretty decent effect on blood sugar. So some people actually take it and could be getting some hypoglycemic reactions, which actually could be problematic. What's up, Oscar? How you doing, brother? So, regarding whether it's effective for fat loss, if it helps you to regulate your blood sugar, yeah, it could potentially be beneficial. So somebody that has severe blood sugar dysregulation, they are insulin resistant, it can help to deal with that. Part of that, interestingly enough, may be the antimicrobial effect. It may be helping to change your gut microbiota a little bit. But let's be very clear. Long-term, berberine may be problematic for your gut microbiome because it doesn't really care. I can't think of the word I wanted to say there. It's not very specific in terms of what it targets. So it's pretty widespread. It's pretty broad spectrum in terms of what it kills. So it's a very strong antimicrobial, good short-term, good for short-term insulin sensitization. Long-term, probably wouldn't play around with it. Cellulite. Is there anything you can do about it, or is it more genetic? So yes, there is. Essentially, the things you're going to want to look at are gelatin and bone broth. The two of them, what those are going to do is they're going to help to essentially help with, wow, like I said, today's not my night. What they're going to help to do is provide the amino acids you need to basically rebuild the collagen in your skin. So essentially, when we're looking at cellulite, we're looking at that stretching and the replacement. You lost some of the elasticity of your skin. So part of it is genetic. Part of it, though, is going to be you're losing that. So by replacing it with the collagen by eating the gelatin and bone broth, you should be able to retain some of that structural integrity of your skin. So yeah, definitely incorporate some bone broth gelatin. Vic, what am I doing for a living? This right here. I'm being Mike the Caveman. That is what I'm doing for a living. So, health detective, anybody looking to optimize, clean up their diet, but more importantly, help to find the hidden causes of health issues. Murray, sorry. We've had a lot of it, but, Hey, Dawn, what's up? But, yeah, so that's what we're doing these days. Sam, how you doing? We are working as health detective, health, lifestyle, nutrition consultant. Occasionally I get good results. Sometimes I help people out, I guess. Berberine. You gotta come down by Gold's Gym to roll. You gotta start back up. Oh, you starting up at Long Island MMA East? Awesome, Oscar. I gotta get down there. I definitely do. So for those of you who don't know, Long Island Mixed Martial Arts did go and open up a second location over at Gold's Gym in Islip. So if you can't make it down to Farmingdale, make sure you go and head on down to the east. But yeah, that's the plan, Vic. Trying to do that health detective game, play that down. So yeah, Sean, what's up, brother? How you doing? Okay, Chris, can derealization be affected by blood sugar? Derealization? Clarify that for me. I don't know if that was typo or I'm just brain farting on that. What you're trying to say there. Help me out there, bud. I'll come back to that, though, when you give me that answer. Murray, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Make a lot of money. I appreciate that, too. Me and my brother got into beef over diet. Check out my Instagram Live. I will... Well, your Instagram Live, did you, like, save it? Because if you're on Instagram Live right now, the problem with that is I'm over here now. So, I'll check it out later. I mean, I guess your story, maybe. I'll definitely check it out, though. But tell Rini, yo, put him on. Mike the Caveman's the way to go. So, yeah, at this point, we are at 31 minutes in. What other questions we got? Chris, if you're still on, if you can help that out. Okay, homocysteine. Oh, derealization, depersonalization. Got it. Okay. So, yes. Anxiety disorder, absolutely. So, it gets into a little bit of a squirrely neighborhood. It's kind of secondary. It's not necessarily the sugar in and of itself that's going to be causing it. However, shitty diet, as Vic puts it, too much sugar could feed pathogenic bacteria. If you are feeding that bacteria, what could happen is gut dysbiosis, which is just being, bad dysregulation, biosis. Again, I know we've talked about this, Chris, but this is for everybody. Bio, life, right? Biology is study of life. So dysbiosis, gut dysbiosis, is basically an overgrowth of bad bacteria, the wrong types of bacteria taking over. So how does that relate to anxiety disorder and other mental health issues? Your gut is essentially your second brain. So essentially, if you have an overgrowth of bacteria, if something happened where, whether it was too much antibiotics or just, again, a super sugar heavy diet, it could end up leading to gut dysbiosis. In turn, if you are dealing with that issue, you could go and have some mental health issues, be they anxiety, be they depression, be they what have you. So dealing with the gut, clearing out the sugar could definitely be a good idea. All right, homocysteine does get into a little bit of a squirrely neighborhood. Homocysteine, though, has to do with methylation and vitamin B12. Essentially, it also has to do a lot with your cardiovascular health. Essentially, I'll have to do a whole video on it specifically because, like I said before, my brain's kind of fried right now. I'm not going to do this justice the way I want to do it. But the short, super crappy version of it, because, like I said, I'm not on tonight, is that homocysteine is associated with cardiovascular events. When you have elevated levels of it, it's no good. And basically, poor B12 breakdown is going to lead to that. So, let me get back to you on this because my brain, like I said, I don't have enough B12 right now. That's the problem. I have to go eat some meat. Not my best night. I truly apologize, guys. I will do that. So I already promised somebody that tomorrow we're going to do creatine. So tomorrow's video, if you want to check it out, is going to be, should you be supplementing with creatine? Wednesday, Murray, please remind me, we will do homocysteine so that I can really do it properly. Again, guys, I apologize for the crappy response to that, but not my best. So Vic asked, why do they put so much salt in food? Yeah, that has to do with hyperpalatability. Essentially, that one I got. That's one I can run right to you. Essentially, if you want to make food addicting, you can do three things. You can add salt, you can add sugar, and you can add fat. And if you're talking about processed foods, what do? They add all three. Now, the food industry knows this, and that's why when you make processed foods, the end goal is to produce all of those. And actually, it's kind of the deal about the carb test that I did last week. It's kind of why it's super hard to eat a real. It's super hard. Round two. Let's try that again. Super hard to eat a lot of one type of food, be it carbohydrate, be it protein, be it fat. Sit down and try and eat 2-3 pounds of plain chicken. Good luck with that. Try to eat a stick and a half or a pound of. Let's go all in right now. Let's go pounds as our barometer. Try and eat a pound of plain butter. Try and eat a pound of plain mangoes. Even I'll tell you right now, it's not as easy as it sounds like. Eat a pound of mango. Not that easy. So when you have a lot of one type of macronutrient or a lot without them together, it's a lot harder to overeat. So why do they eat? Why do they add lots of salt to things? They do it to make it hyper palatable. They do it to make it so that you enjoy it more. That's it. That being said, salt is absolutely essential. You do want to make sure you're getting in enough salt. Just you want to add the salt yourself. So make sure that you're taking care of how much salt you're intaking in. And that's a lot easier to do when you're eating real foods. But that's a sidetrack. Yeah. That being said, I think we covered a lot of good stuff tonight. Despite me not being my best night, I think we did okay. Right? I think so. Maybe. Probably not. Well, those of you still on, thank you for coming by. Love all the support you guys give me. Truly, truly appreciate it. Tori, what's up? Coming too late to the party. You guys having too much fun out there. If you're watching, so if you're on live now, thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, thanks for making it this long. I'll take any one or two more last questions. If you got anything, it's all good. So I'm about to take one more question. Other than that, though, guys, again, truly love you guys. If you haven't already, most of you I'm almost guaranteed already have. But if you haven't, please head on over to YouTube and subscribe over on youtube.com/Mike the Caveman. You know the deal. I always appreciate it. How about that? Thoughts on maca? Okay, that's a good one to finish on. I like it. That being said, I like maca tea and everything. I wouldn't be looking at it as a superfood like some people do. I don't really believe in superfoods besides liver and bacon, period. That being said, if you want to include it in your diet, don't see a problem. I would keep it, if you're taking a multivitamin, I'd keep it away from that because there are vitamins and minerals in it that will compete. Other than that, good stuff. I like it. You know, good thing to switch up with. Instead of having a little green tea, then you have a little herbal tea, and then you have some maca, maybe you have some maybe you have some mushroom coffee, maybe some regular coffee. A lot of options. Yeah, I think that's my thoughts on that. Again, guys, thanks for all the love. Actually, we'll talk about it some other time. I'm fried. Don't mind me. This is terrible. So I think we're going to call it there. That's it. I'm done. Guys, love you. You know what to do. Send me your questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Fucking it.